Hi everybody, today my presentation will be about biased algorithms and how they lean right. Okay, so here's a brief video outline of the presentation. First, I will introduce algorithms and how they are present in social media. I will then discuss whether or not biased algorithms are predestined. Then I will touch on how algorithms can influence decision-making processes. I will also discuss Meta and X's statements regarding biased algorithms, and then finally we will end on why technical writers should care about biased algorithms. Algorithms are built to maximize platform usage through personalization. Contents are based on users' past actions on said platforms or the webs. This reinforces human tendency to interact with content confirming their beliefs. This reinforces group users into clusters who share similar beliefs. These clusters create division with others who have differing beliefs, and echo chambers begin to form. During the 2024 election season, a study was done to test X's algorithm to see if a certain political view would be favored more than others. 120 accounts were created, right-leaning, left-leaning, and neutral accounts. Results from the study found that all accounts encountered the same right-leaning biases on For You pages when the accounts were first created. After accounts were established, users were mainly served media aligning with their political views, limiting exposure to viewpoints which reinforced echo chambers. Results from the study also found that right-leaning political commentators and politicians' contents were amplified on X. This caused users to make emotional decisions rather than logical ones. In 2024, Australia's The Guardian ran an experiment by making several Facebook profiles. All of these profiles were fake and they were 24-year-old men. These profiles were created on brand new phones with no pre-existing data as to not interfere with the algorithms. There were minimal accounts that were followed on these profiles, and all of these accounts were neutral, and the journalists scrolled on these accounts, but they did not like anything. In the first week of scrolling, memes like The Office were shown on For You pages. A few weeks later, sexist and misogynistic media began to filter into users' feeds. Remember that the journalists did not interact with any of this content. They did not like it. They did not follow these pages. They were fed this information based on the user information that their accounts were 24-year-old males. This is harmful language and perpetuates violence and negative views towards women and can be harmful. On the right is a meme that one of the journalists came across on one of these fake profile pages. Google searches disproportionately favor white male politicians and candidates over women and non-white politicians and candidates. This has the potential to alter voter decision-making as search engines have become major information gatekeepers that use AI to determine who and what voters find when searching for political information. How information is represented on search engines has been shown to influence the perception of political campaigns and voter choices. The overestimation of men versus the underestimation of women of electability leads voters to have no clear actual idea of demographic composition of political institutions. This algorithmic feature hinders women and non-white candidates' possibilities of winning while making voters feel their voices do not matter. Algorithms influencing decision-making processes. Users adjust information searches to increase access to useful content. People change up their tactics to speed up the rate at which they learn new information. This happens in 3 stages. First is the selection. The brain filters out a vast amount of sensory info to focus on the stimuli, which is personalization. 2, organization. The individual classifies categories of selected information to make sense of it. 3. Interpersonal. The individual assigns meaning to organized information, constructing their understanding of the world. Algorithms influence human decisions because they work fast with our brain perception. They think for us without us being aware. One of the articles that I used to help form this presentation is called How Social Media Algorithms Influence the Way Users Decide, Perspectives on Social Media Users and Practitioners, Communication Sciences, and they introduce the foraging theory. According to the information foraging theory, users will decide whether to keep looking for information based on the perceived cost and value of doing so. Users will search longer if they believe that obtaining additional information will be beneficial to them. Otherwise, they will stop and base their decisions on the information they have already obtained. I really like this theory as it almost suggests that foraging for information is instinctual to humans. The only issue with this theory is that due to the algorithm, you will keep getting fed the same information unless you really try to look outside of your bubble and look for new perspectives. The algorithm already just reinforces information that you already perceive to be true, so looking for more information will only satisfy you based on the information you are already being fed. You are not getting a different perspective. You're just getting further and deeper into whatever rabbit hole side of the internet you're on. So yes, foraging can be beneficial only if you're looking for differing perspectives. Otherwise, you could just end up deeper in misinformation. Here is Meta's statement on responsible AI. This is from 2023. The work described in this blog post includes databases, balancing privacy, fairness, preventing bias in ad delivery systems, avoiding harmful or disrespectful associations, giving people more control over what they see, offering more transparency into AI modes, and collaborating on standards of governance. The responsible AI efforts are propelled by a cross-disciplinary team whose mission is to help ensure that AI at Meta benefits people and society. Our civil rights team, for example, has been integral to our work, bringing subject matter expertise with technical, policy, and legal assessments, and collaboratively designing technical solutions. Meta's work on responsible AI is driven by our belief that everyone should have equitable access to information, services, and opportunities. We believe that the responsible foundation we are building will ultimately shape future technologies, including the metaverse. As we reflect on the progress we made in 2022, we hope to foster more collaborative and transparent dialogue across disciplines and audiences about the path ahead for these critical issues. Here is X's statement on AI. This was published in 2021 and has not been updated since. The journey to responsible, responsive, and community-driven machine learning (ML) system is a collaborative one. Today, we want to share more about the work we've been doing to improve our ML algorithms within Twitter, and our path forward through a company-wide initiative called Responsible ML. Responsible ML consists of the following pillars: taking responsibility for our algorithmic decisions, equity and fairness of outcomes, transparency about our decisions and how we arrived at them, enabling agency and algorithmic choice. Responsible technological uses include studying the effects it can have over time. When Twitter uses ML, it can impact hundreds of millions of tweets per day, and sometimes the way a system was designed to help could start to behave differently than it was intended. These subtle shifts can then start to impact people using Twitter, and we want to make sure we're studying those changes and using them to build a better product. I don't know if you caught it, but this statement uses Twitter instead of X, and it was written in 2021. Elon Musk bought Twitter in 2022, making it X, so this statement has not been updated since it has transitioned into X. So this was a whole lot of information, and why should you care? Well, sometimes tech writers help to write AI. When this is the case, this can help companies to be more transparent with users on how algorithms work. I know that both Meta and X's statements preach transparency, but there are so many users who are unaware of how algorithms actually work. So they are not doing a good enough job with being transparent on how these systems work on their web platforms. Audience spend most of their time on social media, and technical writers go where their audience is. So a lot of technical writer content has moved over to social media in the form of short form videos, more like how-to videos. Also, a lot of technical writers are implementing AI into their work and having AI help them create content. This is great, awesome. The only thing is technical writers need to be very aware of the information that AI gives them, as AI is known to not give accurate information that supports claims. At times, AI will give made up sources, which obviously is not good for technical writers who have actual consequences if they use made up sources. Knowing and understanding how algorithms work can help to bridge the gap of all the biased algorithms and help technical writing and writers become more neutral in their content. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week and a great summer. I wish everybody well on their academic journey. And I also included a source list of all the sources I used in this presentation if anybody wants to take a look or has more questions or is interested in the topic. Thanks, guys.